Hello and welcome to RES INDICA, India's only design-based learning portal for the civil services aspirant. Desh Badla, Padhai Badlo. In this particular video, I am going to discuss the news analysis of 5th of June 2023. And we have collated important editorials and articles which have come in the Hindu and Indian Express. Okay, so I have made a mind maps out of them. You can also download these particular mind maps and these videos from our website. Now here I have tried to collect some important things which have come in the Hindu newspaper and also in the Indian Express. Now coming back to the first news article at hand, I am going to provide you with some railway updates. Why was this in news? Because 2 days earlier a horrific accident took place which has shook the nation. More than 250 people were killed and more than 1,000 were injured. This accident is touted as one of the most deadliest accidents in the past decade. Now, first of all, we are going to talk about the Kavach system. What does this Kavach system pertains to? Kavach system, which is also known as TACS, Traffic Collision and Avoidance System. Why again in news? Because in this particular Balasore incident, there was a collision between a passenger train and a freight or a passenger train. Okay. Now, Kavach activates a train braking system automatically if the driver fails to control the train as per the speed restriction. So basically what happens is that if in the case of any eventuality, the driver fails to put on the brakes, then an automatic braking system is activated. It prevents the collision between two locomotives equipped with functional Kavach system, which means that both the trains should have the Kavach system installed in them. This particular system is indigenously developed, which means that this is not an imported technology, but developed inside India. And it is developed automatic train protection system by Research Design and Standards organizations. Okay. Moreover, South Central Zone is a pioneer implementation of Kavach. Indian Railway is divided into 16 zones. Out of that, the South Central Railway Zone is a pioneer in implementing this particular system. Why news? Again, see, I have written here, because the collision in Balasore, which took place on 2nd of June between two express train and a freight train, is perhaps the deadliest train accident in 20 years. Now, both Shalimar Chennai Coromandel Express and the Yashwantpur Howrah Express were not fitted with the Kavach TACS. Many people in the news, they are telling that Kavach has failed. No, this is a wrong assumption. These two trains didn't have the Kavach system installed in them. Just remember the fact. Okay. Now, second thing is that repairing a lifeline. Why is this important? According to the recent report by CAR, 3/4 of the accident took place on tracks or due to some failure in the tracks. Okay. Now, see what is written over here. Several congestion on the Indian Railway main trunk road is the primary factor contributing to the stagnant speed and subpar safety records of the train. In the Indian Express, it is mentioned that the Indian trains have an average speed of 50 km per hour. Compared to its European counterpart, which has a speed of more than 200 km per hour, these trains face less accident than their inter counterpart. So what is the reason behind this? The reason is congestion. Okay. Now, expanded and upgraded network will have sufficient capacity to meet the requirement of both the passengers and the freight traffic until 2060-70 with ensured safety and punctuality. Over the past 20 years, Indian Railway has consistently lost their market share to road and transport because people are more wanting to shift to air traffic. Why? Because the air tariff has rationalized, the cost has come down, predominantly due to the Udan scheme of the government. Moreover, lack of punctuality has a negative effect on safety due to workload of the drivers, station masters, and trackmen. Track, electrical, and signaling infrastructure maintenance and fault diagnosis have suffered a very severe congestion in the past. Therefore, we really need to work upon this so as to avoid this kind of accidents in the future. Moving on to the next news article, Net Zero Challenge. Why was this in news? Because RBI has provided a framework of thinking about the trade-offs between growth, efforts or to transition to a net zero economy and inflation. As every one of you know that in COP26, which took place in Glasgow, India has promised to become a net zero country by 2070. All of you should remember this fact. Now, in this net zero challenge, there is a tension between India's ambition to achieve economic status by 2024, meaning budget 2023-24 has said that by 2047 India will become an advanced economy. If we are going to lower our emissions, then how are we to become an advanced economy? Therefore, we have to maintain a tightrope balance. Again, this particular point is reiterated over here that India wants to become a net zero by 2070 at COP26. Got the point? According to the RBI's annual report, the name of the report is RBI Currency and Finance Report 2022-23. The topic of or the subject of the report is towards a cleaner and greener India. What are the questions raised in the report? First question. For policy, how can India scale its ambition given its investment cost? The solution is raising the prices over the next 3 years. What are the policy alternatives to address the financial risk and the risk to assets? The answer given here is carbon tax or the emission trading system. RBI has taken on the responsibility of managing the risk, fiscal policy, regulatory measures, and the needed steps taken to particularly solve this particular issue. In simple, there is a trade-off between India wanting to become an advanced economy by 2047 and India wanting to become a net zero emitter by 2070. This particular thing can only be bridged by climate financing, which is the main subject of discussion over here. Coming on to the next thing, why does North Korea want spy satellites? First of all, let us see. What is the background of this issue? The background is on May 31st, North Korean military reconnaissance satellite Maleon-1 was launched. It was launched through a new type of rocket named as Cholima-1. This satellite flew for about 10 minutes and crashed into the Yellow Sea. This launch prompted emergency warning in the parts of South Korea and Japan. Because North Korea being a hostile nation, any kind of endeavor it does, it is a threat perception by South Korea and Japan. US, Japan and South Korea have expressed strong condemnation for this particular program. Let us talk about the North Korean space program. First of all, North Korea has active space program that is closely related to its missile program. Satellite launch vehicle uses the same core technology as the long-range missile. And they also have the capability of intercontinental ballistic missile, which can reach as far as USA. Why does it want its assets in space? First of all, spy satellites are expected to provide advanced technological surveillance. Why? Because they can provide surveillance from a height. And with minimum amount of technology or satellite, you can have a surveillance over a wider range of area. Why does it want to have surveillance? To improve its ability to strike during conflict and to cover a large portion of the region. What implication does it have for East Asia? First of all, there is security anxiety in South Korea, Japan, and the Eastern nations. This launch breaches United Nations Security Council resolution. The satellite launch reveals sense of urgency among the regional players. One more apprehension is that this is unlikely to attract additional economic sanctions. Why? Because North Korea already is riddled in economic sanctions. So let us see in future what implication does it has on USA-North Korea relation, South Korea-North Korea relation, and in the entire Indo-Pacific zone. Moving on to the last article, some environmental news. The first news is that Himachal and Punjab appear for face-off over the Shannon Power Project. Why? Because 99-year lease on the British era 110 mega power Shannon Power Project is on. This particular is situated at the Joginder Nagar in Mandi district, which is in Himachal Pradesh. This particular dam is presently under the control of Punjab government and which is expected to expire on March 24. Therefore, a kind of scuffle is going on. Arunachal has scrapped 44 hydel deals with private players. How this has done? It has withdrawn project with a total installed capacity of approximately 32,000 megawatts. Will be handed over to the central PSUs through agreements. So again, let us see how this pan out, because Arunachal Pradesh is always a hot cake between India and China. And anything which India does in Arunachal Pradesh is taken apprehensively by China. Next, let us see about El Nino. I hope you must be knowing about these climatic phenomena: El Nino, La Nina, Indian Ocean Dipole, and their impact on Indian monsoons. How does it impact the economy? Through three possible headwinds. First of all, a general economic slowdown can impact exports. Cumulative effect of interest rate increase in the one past year. High probability of El Nino developing in July and August. What will this lead to? Moisture stress could extend to Rabi, winter, spring crops. Delay in monsoon onset can reduce the sowing window. And third is that what implications will El Nino have on a wider Indian economy? How Indian economy's fortune are still tied to monsoon? Because it impacts agriculture production, hydropower generation, drinking water capability. Still, more than 50% of Indian agriculture is dependent on monsoons. This also impacts the food supply. Now, what are the positive factors for this year? First of all, enough procurement of food grains has been done. There has been surplus pre-monsoon showers, and the summer has been mild up till now. Let us see what effect El Nino has on Indian economy. Basically, impact on Indian agriculture, the fishing zones, and the entire Indian economy in general. Thank you very much. We will meet again with the newspaper analysis of 6th of June. Thank you.